why I'm here is to be of service and to offer what can be helpful. And if that's happening, then I am profoundly fulfilled. And that is the truth in my work, and that's why I've continued for 42 years in my practice and my work. And one of my dearest friends and most wonderful people just passed away this week. She was one of my first students, who was originally the associate concertmaster of the San Francisco Symphony. Georgia Flizanis became the first woman in history to be concertmaster of a major symphony orchestra for 2 decades in Minneapolis. And I am mourning her deeply this week. She just suddenly died. And we're the same age, and she was giving me violin lessons, helping me come back to my violin, because I grew up as a concert violinist, performing concert violinist. And I stopped when I was 20, and I didn't know how to continue, and she knew how to help me, and she wanted to, out of love and gratitude to all that I gave her. And so I will miss her profoundly. And even as you know, in the public and the satsangs I've been giving, I've been talking about her, how she's been teaching me to learn anew how to practice, how to bring attention to what you're giving attention to, whatever it is. So, Georgia, I will love you forever. When I heard that she passed away, I felt like I was in shock, because we had just been texting 2 days before about when we were going to meet again. And then I felt like my heart had been ripped out of my chest. I recorded some of our 3 hours of our lessons. We had just been getting started, and I started watching one of them the other day, and it was so incredible to have her there and to see how she was working with me. It was so amazing, and I'm just so grateful for what we did have. You know, it's so beautiful to be with you, even when we're just hanging out, visiting with old friends, meeting new friends, eating, and feeling that connectedness is happening without any business around it. Just is. Yet, is there value in stopping? Yes. Is there value in being with your heart? Because then it can release. And I, like you, had to learn how to be with this heart of pain so that it wasn't just managing. It wasn't just coping, getting it done, but was actually healing and liberating at the same time. And so you all have consciousness emerging. We all have consciousness emerging. I like the word consciousness rather than spirituality and presence and all those sort of past terms. I prefer consciousness because it's so clean. There's no identity in it. It's not about a belief. We all know we have consciousness. The question is, how do we listen to it? How do we allow it to guide us? how do we allow it to show us the way to healing and a more fulfilled, inspired life? My experience is that the more we give attention to consciousness and learn to have it illuminate the conditioned parts of ourself that are in the way of it emerging, it emerges more. So even the example of emotional pain, which we all have, whether it's a reaction to this or that, or a feeling of a loss like I've been talking about with my friend, or a disappointment or a disillusionment or a frustration, fear, rage, whatever it is. We realize in many ways that we are not in control. And yet we have feelings about life and what happens, right? So the most important way to begin, always, to be the gardener, the cultivator of consciousness, is to come back to the body and bring attention. Sensing, breathing, feeling, and then noticing, is there allowing? Or is there resistance? Is there the identity of someone who thinks they know what they're hearing and listening to right now? Or is there just hearing happening? Yeah, see, feel the difference? As soon as hearing is just happening, consciousness starts to open. But when there's someone hearing, there's a wall. It's not, you can't see that wall. It's a veil. And so you begin to learn how to step out of the way and experience this moment directly. That's all. And it brings forth consciousness. And it also brings up the fear of intimacy, of this may not be safe. Wait a minute, that's too close. No. So you begin to notice the back off or too much. Yeah, I want to feel better, but I don't want to be burned alive. So, but that's where you want to bring attention, to where you go in yourself right now, the no. Nope. And the way I used to work with and do it still, like, I think it's so built in I don't have to ask the question anymore, but it's kind of like, what is it that I don't want to be present with right now? That's all. Simple question. You know, tune in yourself. I don't want to listen to you talking. That may be going on like, oh, come on. Somebody might think, oh, that's bullshit. I've heard all this before. What are you talking about? I read a better story. I know a better teaching. You're just an amateur. Whatever. I'm just being silly. Whatever the no, or maybe some physical discomfort symptom, or restlessness, or tiredness, or longing. Sadness over the loss of See, as you could see, as I talked about her, I couldn't not let it out. Now I feel good. Because I know, I feel her. Wow, what a bright light you are and have been for so many around the world. How lucky am I to have known you? I really want to thank you for listening, but I really want to invite you to listen and attune and feel into or watch what's going on in yourself. So it's not about listening to John. That's fine. But as long as it doesn't take you away from you. And I'm speaking about you in totality. In other words, the you that is your personal self, your conditioned self, your ego self, your program self, whatever you want to call it, your karmic self, your inherited self, all of it, your traumatized self, and your conscious self. Whatever it takes for you to bring yourself back here now, find out how to keep coming back so that, this isn't turned into a show that you're attending. It's fine. That part of it is, we all like that. It's fun when it is, or it's entertaining, or it's pleasurable. I like that, but really, keep recalibrating to center. Keep recalibrating to openness. Keep recalibrating to available. And relax. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to understand. There's nothing to figure out right now. Let go and come out of the story. Come out of the struggle with what is. Come out of the struggle with yourself. Or bring consciousness, attention, breath to where struggle is in you right now. And notice what happens. Notice how paying attention naturally guides you to the next possibility. Don't think about it. Don't analyze it. Just don't judge it, compare it, conclude. All those mental realms, no. But if you're insecure, yes, be aware of that. Be aware of that. Because that vulnerability is the doorway to consciousness emerging.